Hello and welcome to the Same Person Radio. It's episode 10. I am one of your hosts, Justin McFadden. His beach ass coming from North Carolina Beach. If you can't tell from the video behind them, there is a blue sky, and he's a piece of shit. It's 69 degrees there, and it's very early in the morning. Steven Galvin!
Yo, yo. Live from the beach.
Live from the beach. Also joining me, he is still pissed off that in the Destiny podcast, I said he was my second favorite. Downtown Tony, not Steven, Brown!
I thought we had something special, Justin. I thought it was real.
You thought last week when he called you the wrong name that you had something special?
Well, and the thing is wasn't my first favorite Brandon, so where does that leave Gal on the list?
I don't know. Well, I'm by default number one, so.
You're zero. You're like above.
True. I'm like episode zero.
It's settled.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Justin doesn't love you, Steven. Wife doesn't love you. Your wife is mad at you now.
I know, nobody loves me.
Stream on Twitch instead of hanging out with her on vacation.
Jump in the ocean behind me here and just, let it take me away.
You should just done the podcast from the ocean, like on a float.
If the Wi-Fi reached down there, I definitely would have been on the beach, but I don't know if the Wi-Fi would have reached. I should have just done it on my phone, and then I'd been all right.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 10 of the Same Person Radio podcast. He's Justin, I'm Steven, and that is Tony, not Steven. And first, we want to start off with saying Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Justin, what do you got for your mom?
If you listen to this, Mom, which you actually might, Happy Mother's Day. Thanks for, dealing with my weird ass. So, I'm sure when I was a baby, I pooped in my diaper all the time. So, thank you for changing that. Thank you for liking things like X-Men and Pokemon and stuff like that, even though you probably thought in the back of your mind, this shit's dumb. So, thank you for that. And then also thank you to my wife. It's her first Mother's Day. You are a goddess.
Yeah, Melissa.
Yeah.
And you sexy,
Tony, what
girl.
All right. Tony, what you got?
Girl, I'm in your ears.
Well, me and my mom don't really do gifts that much anymore, so we went out to dinner, to lunch yesterday, and I got her a card.
Cool.
So.
Cool. She probably won't listen to this, though.
She won't listen to this. But funny, a really quick funny mother's story about my mother. She used to play video games with me, and when we were kids, she was playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and she was on like a little chair that like a little 5-year-old would sit on, and she beat the level, leaned back, and broke the back legs of the chair.
That's awesome.
That's a good mom story.
Funny enough, yeah, my mom and me, when I was really young, I remember I had a friend over one time. We were playing the original Super Mario Brothers, and she was like actually really good at it. And like the thing is, I don't know if you know it, like you just keep playing until you die. And I remember one time she made all the way to like the last level. So literally like an hour later, we're just me and my friend was like, we're just gonna play with like action figures or something. She's taking forever.
Mom took over the game.
Like, oh, it's your turn. Like, we don't even want to play anymore. We're like, fuck this shit.
Took too long, Mom. Well, to my mother, love you, Mom. Good to see you yesterday. You probably won't listen to this. Maybe you will. I don't know. And all the other moms. Christine, Mama, love you. Thank you for having us at the beach. And all my sisters and stuff. You're all moms. And yeah, good job, moms. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs. 2 thumbs up. So
2 thumbs. If you're watching the video, you can see Gal's 2 thumbs.
Yeah, my 2 thumbs. 2 thumbs. So happy Mother's Day to all. And another kind of a note here, if you are listening to the audio version on iTunes, please review us. We definitely would love it if you could do that for us. It would definitely help us out. Subscribe, obviously, on whatever you're listening to. Review us on anything, but iTunes especially. And if you're watching our beautiful faces, YouTube, give us a comment or a thumbs up or whatever YouTube does, right? Thumbs up? Is that what YouTube does?
There's a thumbs up thing, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, this week, ladies and gents, we're going to talk about modern gaming and kind of the goods and the bads of it. We've got a few topics to go over, since we're a bunch of nerds here. And let's start off, Justin, with some of the, well, I think all of us think are good as DLC for video games nowadays.
I think it's actually kind of like a mixed bag kind of thing, because DLC in general, I think, is a good idea if done correctly. If it's not something that's already on the disc and they're just like, "Hey, spend $20 and you can get access to something that was already in this or
Star Wars Battlefront.
like, or I mean, I guess if you're not a disc like us, I think all of us are pretty much digital. But if it's like not already in the game file, then it shouldn't be DLC. It should just be part of the game. But I do like the fact that in modern day, like that you can like a game a lot and then like maybe like 3 months down the road, there's more game to play if you like really enjoy the game. Like that's what I really love about DLC. But there are some types of DLC that are kind of like I said, DLC where it's like already there and you just have to pay for it, which is kind of weird. Also, I really don't like console exclusive timed DLC because I feel like in the case of, I'm gonna probably reference Destiny a bunch because it's like the game I play the most. But like Destiny, like they get exclusive guns and stuff on PS4, but on Xbox you don't have it. But we're both paying $60 for the game, so it's kind of like, oh, they get more game for what they're paying. So I mean, it's not really huge amount of content or really even relevant content. And it actually kind of sucks for a developer because now they can't, like the Trials of Cyrus mode, which is a PvP mode, they can't use any of the exclusive PS4 maps for that because it's the same every weekend. So it's kind of one of those things like they're just making it and it's just for the PS4 players. But in general, yeah, I like DLC.
Tony?
For the most part, I like it too. For single player games, it gives the developers a chance to kind of expand the story more if they want. Like say, hey, here's maybe a part we didn't get a chance to get to in the main game. There's time constraints. But, here's this extra story we want to tell, or here's this piece we missed. And I also like it more for like fighting games because, like, example, Justice 2 is coming out Tuesday, and they already announced 3 DLC characters. And I kind of like that. We'll say, the company might say, oh, we only allotted 24 characters, but hey, within the next year we can release 9 more. It gives you more options. So I like it.
Yeah, I think it's mostly good. There are some bad DLCs, like you were saying, Justin, where you're paying a lot and it maybe doesn't have as much content as you'd hoped. Rise of Iron and Destiny, for sure. And so, yeah, I think DLC is pretty good, especially with Tony. I played Mortal Kombat 10, and there were some good DLC. Like Jason Voorhees was a DLC fighter, and so it's just like pretty much both of you mentioned. Basically, is you can expand the game in many different ways. You can keep the replayability factor up with new characters, new skins, new things like that. A good game like Forza Horizon 3. Let's plug that now. Had a few expansions. Had the Blizzard Mountain, and also has a new awesome expansion, which we might get to a little bit later, potentially, that I think is really cool. So I think DLC is a good thing for the community as long as it's, like you guys said, it's done right. So
the one thing about Forza that is kind of insane is that there's like the VIP pass, the car pass, the expansion pass, and like there's a lot of DLC for that game. Like that game can get expensive, but the thing is, what about it though is like you don't need those DLC cars, you don't need the VIP pack, you don't really need it. It's just if you like the game that much, you have the option, and options are always, I think, good. And like the expansion pass, I think it was $35, and I will tell you, I'm not going to do my review right now, but I'm going to review the Hot Wheels expansion, and I was to say, like, it's definitely worth the money. Like, and I haven't played the Blizzard Mountain one, but I've heard that's good as well.
Yeah, I actually bought the VIP pass for Forza Horizon 3, so yeah, I'm one of those suckers.
I just haven't done it.
Yeah, so but so overall, I mean, DLC, we I guess we can agree it's mostly good, but it's got to be done right, and there are some kind of snooze fests that are released. So let's see, let's move on down the list here. Let's go to updates, as in like a developer or even the consoles like Xbox, PlayStation pushing out updates for their consoles, and even for games. Like when people, I know obviously Destiny, like you said, Destiny is one that we play a lot. They push out a lot of updates. Yep. Maybe not as often as we would like or the community would like, but they definitely, to be able to push updates digitally to the game, I think is something that we didn't have at all before, and it's definitely helped. I think personally that it's helped, the gaming community.
Yeah, it can be annoying at times when you just want to go play the game and then you have to wait to play it, but I think that's a necessary evil for the fact that, like, if you think back, like, think about like original Nintendo or like Sega Genesis, if there was like a glitch in the game, it's there forever. It's never going away. The game's at that point, if that glitch happens, you're just shit out of luck. Start over type thing. Whereas now they can get rid of those things. They can patch them out. They can fix that stuff. So I always like that, and then I just like that with like the system updates, how it just constantly they can be like, okay, well, we got some ideas to make the actual OS run better or new features and stuff like that. So I think that's always a good thing.
Yeah, Tony.
I agree 100% with what Justin said. It is nice that, especially for like you were saying, for like the actual consoles, you know, Sony or Microsoft or even Nintendo might say, hey, this is one cool idea we didn't think about it at the time of the launch of the console. Hey, let's work on getting this patched in. Or hey, it's a new feature, you know, people have been asking for. It's feasible, we can put it in the console now, you know, through an update. And even for games, like Justin was saying, kids won't know nowadays, but oh god, I sound old now. But like you said, back in the day, if something broke in a game, or like if in a 64 something was busted,
it's broke.
Everybody just has to deal with it. There's no there'll be a patch in a week. Nah.
Right. No, you either were buying a new game or you're just not playing it. It's there was definitely.
It was real.
I like it was definitely real, and kids nowadays will not even know that. Like they get their Minecraft updated every week, and it's insane.
But it is kind of a flip-floppy thing too, because it does almost, it kind of gives the developer leeway in a sense. Where like back then, like going back then, they had to make sure it worked. Stuff like you couldn't fuck up like that. But now they're just like, we can patch it day one. If something's not broken, if something's broken,
let's maybe
patch it later on.
It lets them kind of push it out maybe before it's ready, which I think we might get into that as well. But like if you and James Bond, like the melees with Oddjob, you know, in PvP for that, like basically they couldn't fix that. It was like that was the thing, like that was the meta of James Bond, and there's no way to fix that. So even if you go play it now, it's the same exact thing. But nowadays, if that were it, they would nerf the shit out of it, and it would become irrelevant. So,
Go ahead, Tony.
Oh no, and that's, I mean, I'll kind of get to it to the next topic, the next one. But it does, updates kind of do affect. It is kind of affecting people who like don't have internet and stuff now, because there are, you know, we all live in very you know, places with good internet, but there still are places in the country that don't have, like,
in the world,
who don't have like the greatest internet. So, you know, if a game on disc is screwed up now, they can't update it. They're kind of screwed. But yeah, just go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Like you were saying, for the day one thing patch, that's like almost like a staple now. It's almost like they get the game to where they feel like, okay, we got enough time to fix the rest of this stuff. And then they push the game, you know, the game goes gold or whatever they call it. They press the disc, they get it ready to be preloaded, and then they just go, all right, start working on that patch, get it ready. And then, you know, because back in the day, if you bought, you know, Mario 64 with the Nintendo 64, you put it in the thing, you turn the system on, you're playing Mario 64. Now it's, most times you get a game, even if you preload it, you have to go in and then start it up, and it goes, hey, this game needs an update, and you got to wait maybe a half hour, depending on your internet. Sometimes it's less, depending on how small it is. But some games, like, they have huge patches when you start up the game, and it takes, you know, an hour, and you're like, okay, well, guess I'll just go to bed and just wake up early and play it or something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with the internet being required, is like for certain games, like Star Wars Battlefront, if you didn't have internet, I'm pretty sure you couldn't play that game. Like there might be one or two things to do, but like you're basically done. Like that game's useless to you if you don't have internet. So I mean, there's games like that, and then like you guys are saying, be able to actually have games preloaded and stuff because of digital, and being able to connect to the internet, and being, not that it's required, but I think it's like you guys said, it's a double-edged sword to make it so that it's required, and then make it, you know, sometimes it can't. Like for example, Destiny. If Destiny wasn't, excuse me, if you didn't have internet in Destiny, there's actually a lot of stuff. I don't know, can you even play Destiny?
No.
The internet doesn't work?
Nope.
Yeah. So, I mean, you definitely have to have internet to play that. But games like Madden or FIFA or something like that, like you can definitely play those. Wrestling games, shooters. You can play single player, but if you want to play online, it's, well, there it is. If you want to play online, it's online.
The other thing, too, with internet is that if you are all digital and you're on Xbox, well, I don't know if this is how this works with PlayStation. I know this is definitely how it works with Xbox, but if Xbox Live is down, you cannot play any of your games, period, because it can't do that check to make sure you actually own that game. So like when Xbox Live is down, like the games and services, like the thing that does that check, that's down in the water. That's one of the down turns of being digital, all digital, is that if your internet's down or something like that, you're not playing any of your games because it can't do that check. I mean, I love being all digital, but that's like, it's not really a common problem. I haven't actually had that issue really much at all. And usually I have a few disc games anyways. It's like, okay, well, worst case, I can just play one of those, but it's one of those things where it's like, not good.
worst case, we just go play Rock Band.
Right, there you go. Yeah.
That's not even worst case. Well, even if you do have internet, there's always this one issue, and Melissa says it best. Those goddamn leggers. For anybody who doesn't know what a legger is,
let me explain this. My wife is from Wisconsin, and they say, instead of saying lag or bag or tag, they say lag, bag, and tag. Like this, they kind of sound like an EH sound. It's the cutest thing.
Yeah. So for anybody who's not from there, we're talking about lag in video games. So, Tony, what type of lag have you experienced? This is obviously a negative, I think.
Yes, it is very much a negative. I've experienced it recently. Well, before I fixed the internet, where I'm staying now. But like, I do a lot of fighting games, and which lagging can, like, having it run smoothly is very important, and I can't stand it. Even when I would play Call of Duty, like, you get that one shot, you're like, oh, got him, and then all of a sudden the guy's behind you killing you. I'm like, wait, what the fuck happened? But
yeah,
there's nothing worse than lag, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There's not, because especially when like it's in Destiny, it's kind of a problem. I think games that usually have dedicated servers, it kind of makes it better. It's never going to be completely perfect, but it makes it better. But Destiny does not have dedicated servers, and it just can be so frustrating when you are just unloading a clip of an auto rifle into someone and their health is just the same. It's not moving. You're like, what the you're just like sitting like, what the fuck is going on right now? I'm gonna lose my freaking cool. Like, what is going on? You should be dead. And also they kill you, and then they die afterwards. You're like, wait, what? Like, just because of lag, like it just lags out. They get to get shots in you from the grave.
There is no rage like a laggy gamer, I feel like. And that's
on the move.
Yeah, I'm on the move. I got to plug in my laptop here. So, but yeah, nothing like a laggy gamer or a laggy game session to really get the rage flowing, I feel like.
Yeah,
like,
usually we encounter lag and we just like, all right, leave after this game. Like, we're gonna get some new people in here.
You can come in. Sorry, talking to my wife, guys. Yeah, no, especially when you're in trials and it's like, you've got a 5-0 card going and you're trying to get to that lighthouse that we'll never get to, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, here's a red bar from Australia, and you're screwed. So
5-0 on trials card. When did that happen?
It never happens with you. It only happens with Brandon.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm the glue.
Those guys.
I'm the glue.
You're the rock that holds us down.
That's what my wife says.
We don't have towels, but whatever. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Riveting.
Sorry, pause. Yeah. Gotta go get some beach towels, guys. So lag, it's a negative. Lag's a big negative.
Yeah, I don't think anyone likes lag. I don't think anyone sees lag like, yes, lag. Except for lag switchers. Fucking dicks.
Right?
If you own a lag switch and you listen to this podcast, please keep listening to our podcast and keep being subscribed. But you're kind of an asshole, and you know it.
That sounds about right, I feel like. So have fun, dear. Goodbye, love you too. That's what happens on vacation. Yeah, no legs. No legs. Let's move on to a positive topic.
No legs.
Season passes. Season passes. Tony, let's start with you.
You said that's a positive?
I think so.
I think overall it is, but I've never done a season pass. Well, I have one. I did the Fallout 4 season pass, but that's because it was discounted at the time. I like them as long as the publisher, the developer, like states, hey, you're gonna pay $30, you're gonna pay $40, and this is what you're gonna get throughout the span. I know a few years ago there was a controversy with Batman Arkham Knight when like the season pass was $40, which is almost the price of the full game, but yet they didn't tell you anything that was in it, and
That's a little sketchy.
very sketchy. And I think as of now, I didn't get it, but I bought stuff throughout them releasing stuff, and I think as of now I've spent like maybe $20 on the what would have been I would wasted for it. Well, another 20. So
Right.
I think they're good. I mean, I think they're good as long as they're, you know, at the end of it, you come out cheaper than if you would have just waited and bought everything piece by piece. So
Yeah, no, definitely. I was gonna actually mention the Arkham Knight thing too, because I think if you're gonna be like, hey, here's a season pass, you should kind of be like, here's what you're gonna get, because they know. They're not like in the dark about it. They're like, you know, like they know. So it's like, just give us the roadmap. You don't have to tell us exactly when it's gonna come out. I guess you can say, you know, this is gonna come out, this is gonna come out, this is gonna come out. Like, even if you don't have a name for it yet, you can say like expansion 1's gonna have some kind of thing. But you know, and then it's usually always cheaper. So yeah, season passes, in my opinion, it's a good thing, because it's like you can get all that DLC usually for $5-10 cheaper than if you just buy it separately. But like I said, when Arkham Knight kind of was like, here's $40 for our season pass, everyone's like, what's in it? They're like, we're not telling you yet. Everyone's like, I don't know if I want it. So like if it's gonna be like skins for the Batmobile and stuff like that, then I don't want to spend $40 for it. So like some people, but yeah, in general, season passes I think are a good thing.
wait, did Josh actually buy the season pass?
I'm pretty sure he did buy the season pass, most likely. It's Batman, obviously. He bought the season pass. So.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Is like Destiny 2. They could have been like, we have a season pass, and we're not telling you what it is. And I'd be like, okay, here's my money. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's a franchise and stuff you like, then it doesn't really matter. But you know, but if it's something that you're not, you know, like something new, like a new franchise or something like that, like you might be a little more skeptical. Like if there's like, we don't want to tell you.
Yeah, I think with a lot of the stuff that we're talking about today is basically if it's executed right and it's done right, then it's a good thing. But there's obviously times where they've messed it up, and it puts a bad taste in everybody's mouths. And then their next game that comes out, you're like, well, I'm definitely not buying the DLC until they announce everything. And so it kind of makes you save your, you know, you're not spending $40 just now. You might spend $20, like you said, Tony, after you wait to see what's coming out. So. Definitely. Well, going with season pass, actually. Whoops, that fell over.
For the people listening, we just whatever's recording, Gal just took a spill.
It's why it's always better to
watch.
Right, entice you to watch so you can know what's going on.
You can see Gal just walking around mid podcast.
Yeah, I might just do that. Like I might just start walking around mid podcast. So we had season passes. And that's obviously new content, but then within some of those, like the DLC and stuff like that, they have microtransactions. So let's get some thoughts on microtransactions. Justin, you're shaking your head. It looks like
it depends how. Again, I think the theme of this episode is really going to be like, if this thing is done right, it's okay.
Yeah.
But like Destiny, I think is one of the games that gets a rap of doing it wrong, and they don't really. Like all this stuff is basically cosmetic. I remember something that grinded our gears back in the day was when last April 2016, when they released those, I think they weren't called treasure boxes or something like that.
Yeah, treasure boxes. Sterling treasures. Sterling
treasure. That was right. It had armor in it that was level 3. Now, just for reference, I think the max light level back then was 365. So that armor was useless in anything but regular Crucible. But people were throwing a fit saying it was, pay to win, when literally armor really has zero effect on skill in that game. I feel like it's very little thing. But as long as it's not pay to win, like if they would have been like in any game, like, oh, you can buy this gun, it's a microtransaction. You can buy this gun, and it's a better gun than you can actually get, like playing. That's when I start to be like, okay, that's a little shitty. I mean, because some people don't have money. Let people put time. And like, if you could buy that gun, or you could do, a mission to get it, then I'd probably be a little less like caring, because you can still get it. But when they try and lock it behind money, like, you can have this and you'll have an advantage. That's kind of, especially multiplayer games, that's kind of shitty in my opinion.
Tony?
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of microtransactions. I'm fine with them, kind of like Justin saying, like if it's a cosmetic thing. I know Halo 5 did it where like you could pay to get like these little card packs, but they're all like armor colors, here's a different skin for your gun, stuff like that has no effect on the gameplay. I'm not really a big fan of people paying like saying, like Justin was saying, like, oh, you can get this ultimate armor or you can get this ultimate gun that makes you a lot better than everybody. I don't like that because there are people who would just pay for that and kind of skate by. And yeah, so that kind of stuff I don't like. Another side to microtransactions, but I guess kind of counts because I play a lot of iPhone games. I like to just download them, and they're all like the games are like, this is free, this game is free, but if you want to, you have a limited amount of something. If you want to keep playing, pay $3.99, $4.99 to keep going, or you just wait an hour or two, which I don't really like. I'm more of a just charge me $1, $2, $3 for the actual game, and then leave me be after that. I think aren't those Clash games like Clash Royale, Clash of Clans? Isn't that like a big like microtransaction?
Yeah, that one, and like Mobile Strike and whatever one, War of whatever it is with Kate Upton as the spokesperson. Like,
let's just say it, Candy Crush. Like, let's just get it out.
That too. Yeah.
Candy Crush.
I stopped playing because I'm tired of waiting for people to send me shit to play this game. Like, it was fun. Like, I love puzzle games. I'm not gonna be like, oh, Candy Crush. Oh, I'm gonna be a man. No, I don't really give a shit. But like, it's like, let me play the game. Like, you made this game that I'm enjoying. And I guess it's free, so in a way it's like, okay, I'm paying $3 now, but the thing is, then I'm going to pay $3 again, and $3 again, and $3 again. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. Just charge me like $5-10 then, I guess. And the thing is, then on the flip side, I probably wouldn't even gotten the game. So it's one of those things where it's it's I don't know, this microtransaction and free to play games are kind of like, it's kind of hard.
So my stance on like mobile games, like you're saying, Tony, where you Candy Crush, Mobile Strike, things like that, I'm actually fine with it because the game itself is free. So you do get to play the game, right? But if you want stuff like that, then it's obviously, I feel like most of those are kind of pay to win, which is fine with me because that's how they're making their money. Because you got to think how many people actually downloaded this game and how much work did they do, and you're getting it for free.
Okay.
It's kind of like they got to make their money somewhere. Obviously, a lot of those games are advertisements. To where you play a level, you got to watch an advertisement. You play a level, even if you lose, you got to watch an advertisement. So I'm fine with that. But microtransactions, like you were saying in Destiny, Justin, and things like that, I can understand it as long as it's not pay to win. So I'm fine with it in mobile games being pay to win, but console games definitely. Like I spent, what did we say the other day on the Destiny podcast? I spent 1,900 hours or something like that in Destiny.
Yeah.
So if I spend 1,900 hours and this person comes in and spends 3 hours and they're able to spend $30 on the Galahorn 3.0, and I have to play 500 more hours for it. It's kind of like, that's a little ridiculous for a game I've already spent so much time and effort in, to just let somebody be just as good as I am, or have stuff as good as I do, but just because they paid.
Yeah.
So
I don't mind there being a monetary option for people that don't have time, because there's people, like, I'm sure as my son gets older, I'm not going to have as much time to play video games. It's kind of a given. So it's one of those things where it's like, I understand if for people that don't have time to have that option, but that shouldn't be the only option is money, because that, in my opinion, is a problem. And like, you should be able, if you want to have someone be able to buy something that's like a weapon or armor or something like that, that's fine, but also give me a relatively equivalent time option where I can like do a quest line that's not going to take forever to get the same thing. Like, if someone doesn't have time to do it, that's fine, but don't screw the people that are actually don't have money to just waste on a game.
Right. So I know a lot of people, to be able to spend $400 on a console and then to spend $60 more on a game, like that's pretty tough. Like on most people, most people who are in America now, it's kind of tough to spend that much money to just blow on. You're not blowing out of any game, because if obviously you're that invested, it's what you do. It's like your hobby, but it's still a lot of money to just drop $60 and then, oh, well, I got to spend $30 more just to be competitive. So it's definitely one thing I think they've done it right so far in most games, but we'll see how the future goes with things.
I was trying to think of a game that I've played that hasn't, and I really couldn't think of anything off the top of my head. But then again, all I play is Destiny, so so it's kind of one of those deals where I'm like,
Right. I can't. Yeah, I can't remember a game that I've played. At least a major, AAA game or something like that. That's pay to win.
I just thought of one. Actually, Tony might know about this one. Didn't the latest like Street Fighter, wasn't that there was like a huge kerfuffle with that?
Yeah, like they had like in-game money to like unlock characters, unlock stages where you can either, I think, you can either play online like in the ranked matches, like continuously earn money, or you just say, "Oh, I'll just pay five." I think it's like $5 or $6 for a character. But the characters are actually, I think, at first the characters are actually on the disc, like we were saying earlier.
Right. Okay. So
Oh,
that's kind of.
So Street Fighter really messed it up.
Because I just remember when that game came out, people were pissed off because they're like, "Wait a minute, so like they're here already? Like the content's here, but you're not letting me have it? Like,
And yeah,
$60 for this game, and I can't even play with all the characters."
Yeah, and also they were kind of pissed, which we'll get into in a few topics from now. Is like the game was missing like certain features, and like didn't have a story mode, didn't have that kind of stuff in it.
Okay.
So.
Well, actually, that's a perfect segue, Tony, into what our next topic could be, which would be unfinished or buggy games. So basically, when a company puts out, and ships their game and pushes it to you, but there are definite bugs and stuff that they have not fixed. And I think part of that is how we were talking about, where they know they could do the updates, at a later time. So maybe they want to kind of get more feedback first before they make their changes. One big one that we know is like Mass Effect, Andromeda, and the facial features. I mean, it wasn't something that was game breaking, but it definitely was something that annoyed a lot of people. But they pushed it anyway. But I think so. I think as of now they fixed it. If I don't know, I haven't played it. Justin, you play it. So
yeah, they fixed it. But the funny thing about that is like that franchise, EA has put on ice. They are not making another Mass Effect for the foreseeable future. That series is on hiatus. Whereas before that game came out, they probably were already in the process of like, all right, we're going to do Andromeda 2 or whatever the next one's going to be. So like they've shelved that franchise for now, and we probably won't see one for 5-10 years at the earliest.
Yeah. So yeah, unfinished. Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
No, I'll say like that kind of sucks because on the one hand, I see, the team who made it, they should have made sure everything was where it should have been. But then also, I'm sure there's like there's the EA corporation who's like, yeah, we need to get this game out this time of the year right now. So they don't have the, if they'd have said, you guys ship it when you're ready, I'm sure they wouldn't have ran into any of those. I mean, there might still be issues, but it wouldn't have been as bad as it was, if they had the time needed. I know a lot of Sony's games, they kind of give them time, and I rarely hear of issues with like an exclusive Sony game. There's like little issues here and there, but not to the
that's pretty true,
games.
actually.
Yeah,
no, that's pretty
true.
And I would say even for like Xbox exclusives, you never really, to my knowledge, to my knowledge, I don't really hear of any like issues because they say, hey, this is internal. We can take the time you need.
That's the thing when you get into companies like EA and Activision and things like that, where they want their money and they want, you give them an initial deadline so like last year, the year before, when Destiny 2 was starting in the process, Activision's like, okay, give us a realistic time frame of what you think this could be. So Destiny 2 or Destiny, Bungie was like, well, we could probably get Destiny 2 out to you maybe early 2017. And then I think it's pretty cool that they're like, nope, we don't want to do that. We're not comfortable putting it out then. So we're going to put out holiday 2017, September 2017, whatever. And so I think it's good that they're maybe getting a little more lenient on that. And I think Mass Effect, even like Assassin's Creed Unity had a bunch of issues when it came out. And so we'll get into something with Assassin's Creed a little later as well. But I think companies are starting to see like you really need to give your developers time to fix the stuff that needs to be fixed before you push it out, or else you're going to have tons of issues and it's going to cause sales decreases. It's going to cause lack of interest. Like I know for Assassin's Creed Unity, friend Josh bought it, told me about the issues. I saw the issues and I didn't buy the game because of that. Like I knew they would eventually fix it, but I wasn't going to spend $60 on a game that was basically unfinished and broken.
Yeah, so. I did the same thing because I waited until like they were like at patch 6 or whatever for Assassin's Creed because I bought it, but I bought it when it was like $30. So they lost out on a whole nother, like they lost out on getting the full price of the game from me just because it was broken like that. So
yeah. I can't think of any other broken games. Justin, did you have any thoughts on that?
No, just with Mass Effect Andromeda, it's kind of a shame because it's a good game. Like from most people that play it, they say it's it's good, it's all this, but the media and people that got those issues. The same thing with Assassin's Creed Unity. Our friend Mark, he played it when it came out. He didn't actually experience any of those issues, and the game he loved it. So it's one of those things where it's like it sucks because the developer made a good game, but because usually it's because the publisher said this game has to be out on this date. It has to go to the it's got to be done this date so it can be out on this date. Right. You can do a patch, then it's kind of like this whole day one patch issue where like every game has a day one patch. So it's like, it kind of sucks because that whole team that made that Mass Effect game, they got like split into other teams. Like one's helping with Battlefront 2 now, one's doing this, one's doing that. So it's like, it kind of sucks that team kind of just got the shaft because they had to get a game out. So it's like, it's the way it goes, unfortunately. And like we were saying with the console exclusives, like the actual PS4 and Xbox One games, like I think those games are really important to those consoles because they're only going to be on that console. And then usually one of the deciding factors while you go Xbox or PS4 is the games. So those games have to be right because Master Chief Collection on Halo, that game I was so hyped for. So, I mean, I know it's just a remaster collection, but it was shit when it started. And me and my wife were so excited to play it, and we never went back because you would sit in a lobby for like 15 minutes before you got into a game. And we're like, fuck this. We're not going to do this. We'll just go play something else. So, yeah, it's stuff like that. It can't be fucked up because if it is, you might not come back. You might not buy it next time. That franchise might be dead to you,
Right.
Did that?
Yeah. Go ahead, Tony.
Look, did that hurt you? Like when Halo 5 came out, did that affect you at all?
I think it kind of did because I bought it. Like I got it day one, but I wasn't really that excited to play it because I was just kind of like, yeah. And like I played it a little bit, and I don't know if I think at the time too, the other problem was that I was deep into the throes of Destiny at that point. That was like right when I started playing Destiny, so it was kind of hard to be like, I'm gonna pull myself from this to play this when I just wasn't that hyped for it though because when you get burned by a game in a series that you like, the next time the game comes out, you're kind of a little more reluctant to be like all gung ho for it because you're like, what if this is screwed up? What if this is wrong? What if So it's one of those things where, like, I'm sure once the next Mass Effect down the road comes out, people are gonna still go, okay, I wonder if there's gonna be something wrong with this. I wonder, there's gonna be people that are skeptical about it. So, whereas before when Mass Effect Andromeda was coming out, people were hyped. I mean, people were like, okay, cool, new Mass Effect, great series. So, I don't know, it's just kind of one of those tricky things.
Yeah, it's definitely like you were saying, Tony, with the exclusives. Basically, like if you look at Horizon Zero Dawn and Forza, like I don't think those had any issues. Forza Horizon 3 is what I mean. Like zero issues at launch, like no bugs, no nothing. It was good to go. It was you logged it in, you played the game, and there was no issues. And I think that's good for console exclusives. And we can actually move into this next topic. Those two games actually that I mentioned are probably, from what I've seen, and you guys might agree too, are the best looking games on those consoles so far. Smooth. I mean, yeah, smooth. I mean, we can kind of talk about graphics and engines in the same type thing, but like the way that I've seen Horizon Zero Dawn played and just like watching streams and watching videos, like the game just looks so fluid and the graphics and detail are just incredible. And then with Forza Horizon 3, as Justin has now played and I've played, moving laptop, what's over there?
It actually is like Horizon Zero. Like I just have it. Well, you can't see it, but I actually have this Horizon playing right now. I'm not playing it.
There you go.
It's up.
You just like to look at the beautiful sceneries, basically.
I'm just kind of staring at it.
Turn out that new photo mode.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Just going back to our last topic, like when games can actually like patch in new features instead of worrying about fixing shit that was broken at launch, that's the right kind of fucking updates and patches you want to see. But yeah, and then as you were saying with graphics, yeah, like I was playing that Hot Wheels expansion last night, and I was like, this looks ridiculously good. Like this is ridiculous. Like the water, the rain effects, the stuff that they can do now is just so good. And like I've seen gameplay of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, God damn, that looks good. Like, holy shit. Like, I gotta admit, it's like, it's got me kind of like the gears starting to turn back. Like, maybe I need to get PS4, like, because I really want to play it, but I'm gonna wait for that Spider-Man game, and then I'm just gonna buy all of those games at once, and I'm just gonna go all PS4 at that point. Well, I
And
mean,
then your wife's gonna kick you out, so you don't have no money.
she's gonna have PS4, you out. Xbox
You out.
for life.
You out. One game actually. So I have a funny story about the graphics. Is I was out with Brandon, who was on our Destiny Multi-Mitacast podcast, and I had saved a clip of me playing NHL 2017 or whatever. And so basically, I went to show him the clip on my cell phone. And what are you doing there? You're right over there. Yeah.
I see if my air is working because I've turned it on like 20 minutes ago and it's boiling in here. Like, what the fuck is going on in here?
So anyway, I showed Brandon a clip, and like we're at a bar and we're watching on the TV is the actual like an NHL game in real life, and he's looking at my screen and he goes, "Is that like a highlight from the game?" Because the graphics were just so kind of crazy. And he's a gamer, so he knows like he plays it and he's seen the difference. But like that type of stuff is kind of crazy. Like my wife all the time comes down. She did come down one time when I was playing Forza Horizon. She goes, "What movie is that?" I was like, "It's not a movie." I was like, "I'm playing a video game." Like that's the kind of graphics I think we're seeing, and I'm excited for Scorpio to see what type of graphics we can do.
Well, yeah, because things will run smoother, so you would, a little more fluid. I think I've said this story before on the podcast, but my dad one time he confused Forza Motorsport 6. There's a video on Facebook someone took of like someone in like a van going through like a closed circuit. He's like, "Isn't that crazy that happened?" I'm like, "That's a video game." He goes, "No, it's not." I'm like, "Yeah, it's Forza Motorsport 6. Look." And then I like showed him a clip of like the same game, the same type of thing. He's like, "No shit." Like, "Oh, I gotta get an Xbox or PS4." I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, about time. So yeah, and then go with Ninja. You got something on that, Charlie?
No, I'm gonna say also, another thing. I think graphics are great. I love the graphics, but I also like games that can't put those use those really good graphics and like have good art style. Because examples like I have a Switch and I'm playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, which obviously cannot be as graphically. You can't take the graphic bar as high as like Horizon or Forza, but the art style is so unique and cool looking that it kind of negates the graphic. I don't think of like, oh man, these graphics aren't as good as Horizon. When I'm playing,
it's just it's a different type of good.
Yes, they take what they have and they make something really cool out of it. They make a good style.
Yeah, I think a good game that's actually hasn't come out yet, which everybody's still anticipating. Hopefully, it comes out soon. Is Cuphead, which I think some people have seen. Is basically it's like a 1930s comic art style, and it's like a side scroller, but it doesn't look like Horizon or like Forza. But like you're saying, it has its own art style, but it looks really good because it runs so smooth, and it's kind of like. That one hits you with the nostalgic feel, but different things like that I think just like we're saying, the graphics are very well done, but it's just a different art style. I mean, it's just like different artists and art techniques that they use. So digital people have that as well. So
yeah, it's just like I know the one game I've always liked the art style of was it was called Valiant Hearts. It's like a World War I side scroller from Ubisoft or Boobisoft, whatever you want to call them, and the graphics don't have to be the deciding factor, no way. Yeah, but it's really cool that they can take an art style like that, but then they use the power of that stuff to make it just run so much better and look clearer almost. So, and even Firewatch was another game where I'm like, yeah, this is cool how they did things with the sun instead of shadows and stuff, and use the power to do stuff like that to almost enhance the art style.
Right. Well, we'll have to wait for Scorpio to come out so we can see how Destiny 2 looks on it.
Yeah.
When we get that. So let's move on to this new type of thing that we're going to try. We're not going to do a triple threat this week. We're going to do news. Yeah. That's supposed to be a typewriter, I think, if anybody.
News with a Z.
News with a Z. All right, so basically we're just going to read kind of a news headline, and then you guys just give a basic. I'll read it. You guys give a basic kind of quick response, 1 or 2 sentences. So the first thing we have here is Emma Watson won the first MTV Gender Neutral Award for Beauty and the Beast. Somebody
we
go.
Both got our hands on our chins. Go ahead, Tony.
Quick question. So when she gets this award, does that mean there's no best male actor, best female actress?
That's exactly what it
Correct.
means.
They've took the gender out of it, and it's basically best actor or actress in a movie.
Their argument is that it doesn't matter if you're male or female, so it doesn't need to be separated. You're just the best at that job, I guess you'd call it.
Right.
I think that's a good cool thing to do. Because yes, I agree. Yes, if you're the best performer in that movie, whether you're male or female, you should get the best of that. But keep it short and simple. That might affect like best female actress because there's so many male. Like I always feel like the male outnumber the female in the performer. So there might be like 6 good male actors this year, and maybe the 2 or 3 or 4 female actors might get shortchanged if unless their performance is extremely is the best performance of that year. So that might affect it. The women might not get their due because it is a male oriented industry. So
yeah,
I'm fine with it. I think it's whatever. It's cool. It's fine. But I feel like MTV. I'm pretty sure they control that whole entire award, like who gets it and stuff. So it just kind of feels like a PR stunt more than anything. Like I don't think they're just doing it to be like we want to. I think there's like our audience is into this type of thing, so we're gonna make this award not male or female. We're gonna make it a single gender award, like any gender. You can be whatever you want to be. You think you're a horse? That's cool. But yeah. So I kind of feel like it's cool that they're doing it, and I'm fine with it because it shouldn't really matter if you're male or female in order to win an award. But kind of like what Tony's saying, like then like I hope that if they go forward with that, they kind of do like maybe 3 and 3 just to keep it even, and then kind of you know what I'm saying? Like I mean, I guess that still kind of defeats the purpose a little bit, but it'd be nice if they kind of still made it even so that there was still an equal chance among genders. I know we can get into that whole gender battle later another time.
Yeah. All right. Next one here. So Donald Glover, who will be voicing Simba, Childish Gambino, he's bringing an animated Deadpool series to FXX.
Fuck yeah!
Cool.
All right, that's a good one.
I'm fucking in. Like that sounds amazing. I don't know who's gonna play Deadpool because they didn't say he's playing Deadpool, but him and his brother Steven are producing
with a PH.
With PH. What is your thoughts?
My thoughts are I'm super fucking excited for that. Like I love Donald Glover, I love Deadpool. I hope they get Ryan Reynolds to do it or Nolan North, but I don't know. I'm pretty excited to see what the animation style. I kind of hope it'd be pretty cool if it was like Archer because I like Archer's animation style, but probably wouldn't work well for Deadpool. But I'm excited to see what that looks like. Let's see. Non-gamers, so people who don't play video games, have never heard of the Nintendo Switch. Studies showed that.
Surprise me because I feel like most people that are into it are people like us, like that are already gamers. Because I bet you if I said to, like, my mom doesn't really game that much anymore. So if I said to my mom, like, hey, are you, what do you think of the Nintendo Switch? She'd be like, what is it? She wouldn't know. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you're not, I don't know, it's just one of those things with Nintendo. But I feel like it's getting to the point where it's so popular now that it might actually get to that point where it starts people going, oh, like kind of like the Wii did, where they're like, oh. So.
Yeah. Agreed.
Tony? Yeah.
I agree with Justin. I think nowadays older people just call it Nintendo. Oh, that's the new Nintendo thing.
Yep.
Right.
They have it where they can just be Nintendo now.
Basically. So the Assassin's Creed Origins, at least of what we think, had a screenshot that was leaked. What do you think about that?
I think it looks good, and we're going to talk about annualized games later, but I'm glad they took a break because I think the space has made me feel like, okay, cool, I'm actually ready to go back and play an Assassin's Creed game. And if it's set in Egypt like they're rumoring, like in that leak, then I'm even more on board. It seems like in the title supposedly is Origins, so it kind of sounds like they're going back to the start and restarting, which I think is a good idea. I just hope they don't go back to analyzing it, but like give some space, let those developers go, and like I don't know,
Tony,
I agree. It's good they took it was a year. It's been a year, right? Yeah, a year.
Yeah.
It's good they're taking a year off to kind of fix a few things. The one they released the year before, Syndicate, after Unity, was very good. They came back strong. So hopefully with this one, after having an extra year, they can come back stronger.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited for it. The screenshot looked really nice. I think we'll probably post it up on some of our social media sites. So at Same Person Radio on Twitter or Facebook.com/Same Person Radio, you can check it out. And we'll probably post some pictures so you know what we're talking about. All right, last news story, which will kind of actually push us into the next segment. So NBA 2K18 announced, like last year, that if you pre-order, you can get 4 days early access to the video game. So I believe it comes out sometime in September. So if you pre-order it, you can play it pretty much 4 days before people who haven't pre-ordered it. Star Wars Battlefront had a similar pre-order incentive. So I want to know kind of thoughts on early access for being as a pre-order incentive.
I'm not gonna get super deep, but it's dumb. It's real dumb.
I agree, but thank you to people who. I agree, but thank you people who play it 4 days early, so you can tell me what's wrong with it.
That's true. That is one of the good things about it.
That is pretty good. So we'll actually move right into that. So pre-order. So let's move into pre-order incentives. So like basically what you get with pre-order incentives. So for example, NBA 2K18 has been, they said Shaq's gonna be on the cover. They're gonna have a legendary edition. It's probably gonna come with some VC, which is the in-game currency to buy stuff and make your character change your everything like that. So you get some of that. You get some like kind of the My Team, which is kind of Madden's Ultimate Team or FIFA's Ultimate Team type of thing. So you get some of those. The Madden 18, they released, Tom Brady's gonna be on the cover. There's a GOAT edition, and you can play that early, but you also get Madden Ultimate Team stuff. So what are your guys' thoughts on pre-order stuff that you get bonuses for pre-ordering?
This is probably gonna be my longest winded thing. So here we go. I'm gonna keep it short.
Let me go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. So the whole thing with pre-order incentives, so I pre-order games just right up in front, but I hate that I have to pre-order games because of pre-order incentives. Because the thing is this, with pre-orders these days, the reason pre-ordering was made was because there wasn't digital back in the day. And because if you wanted to make sure you had that game day one, you pre-ordered. That's not the case anymore. Usually there's enough physical copies for one, and for two, if you can't get it physical, you can definitely get it digital. So pre-ordering to me is kind of like, you don't really need to do it. Like, obviously, if you're going to get the game anyways, it doesn't really matter. But it's one of those things where it's like, you don't need to do it. It's not really needed. But it became needed when people started attaching betas and exclusive content and now early access to games with pre-ordering. So now it's like, if you want to play in the Destiny 2 beta, guess what? You got to give us your $60 or $100, whatever edition you're getting, up front. So it's like, okay, well, why do you need to do that? That's kind of, in my eyes, a little anti-consumer. You're like forcing me to give you my money now versus the day it comes out so I can do something else. Sometimes I know games like, I believe Watch Dogs 2 had an exclusive mission for pre-ordering. So it's like, I can't play that mission or I have to pay extra, because I think what they did is they released it afterwards and it was like $10. So it's like, I have to pay $10 to play something just because I didn't pre-order it because I wanted to see what the review said. Because there's some games, like if it's like Destiny 2, I'm going to get that regardless if I've said probably 3-4 million times this episode. But like, what about a game that I'm not going to get? Like Assassin's Creed Origin, I'm going to probably wait. I'm not going to get that day one. But what if they're like, oh, well, you can get this mission where you do, you kill Tutankhamun and you just cut his head off and it's cool. You want this mission? You got to pre-order. That's kind of shitty that I don't get that unless I pre-order and say, okay, yep, I'm going to get it. Granted, you don't have to pick up the game day one. You can wait, but it's not the whole point of it. It's just one of those, and the thing is, I'm digital, so I can't wait. If I pre-order it, I'm getting it. I'm paying for it. So that's basically my feeling on pre-ordering in general and pre-order incentives. I just think it's like a very kind of shitty practice. I mean, it's cool because they're not giving you extra stuff. They're literally giving you stuff that's already there and making you pay ahead of time for it.
Tony, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I really don't. I'm going to sound like a hypocrite at the end of this spiel, but I'm not really a fan of, I don't really care for pre-order incentives because, like kind of Justin saying, I don't really feel like if you miss out on whatever the pre-order incentive, it's not going to affect the game in the end. Because like I said, it's usually a mission or like, oh, get this extra skin or this extra gear. And I'm like, I don't really care about that. And if you really did, if it really was a big deal, you could just pre-order it like the night before. Because I think that still counts technically.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I don't really care for the incentives. That being said, I did pre-order Injustice 2 because Darkseid is a pre-order character.
Yeah.
Which that
So
affects. I mean, hey, it's giving you an extra character for the game, and
right. Like you probably would be able to buy him later down the line when they release him as a
yeah. I think they did.
Additional DLC guy.
Yeah, because they did that for.
But you would have to buy him.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But that's my problem. It's like if you give us your money ahead of time so we can kind of get a sales number going, you can have it for free. But if you're one of those people that didn't give us your money, we want $5 to $10 for that character. Like, what the fuck? Why is that a thing? Like, that's kind of shitty. Like, and like, most of the stuff they include isn't really like huge or good usually if it's, but like the Destiny 2 beta, I definitely want to play the Destiny 2 beta. So like, I was going to do it anyways, but like, it's just kind of shitty. I mean, I guess I could cancel my pre-order if I didn't like Destiny 2 after the beta, but it's just one of those things.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I know, but I'm just saying, like, say Assassin's Creed did a beta or something like, a demo. We're going to give you a free 1 hour demo of the game, 2 months or a month before the game comes out if you pre-order. Well, then you could cancel afterwards. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I really hate when they just like lock stuff behind a pre-order. Like, you have to pre-order because without it, I probably wouldn't pre-order that many games. And so,
yeah. My thing with pre-orders is I like the idea that you can pre-order digitally now, and I think that I like that because it can be installed already, like when you're starting. So like I pre-ordered Destiny 2 and Battlefront 2, so basically those are already on the Xbox, but they will be ready to go. But like you guys both were saying, I don't want to have to give you my money. I think it's 10 days early for digital. Like they can charge you up to 10 days early. I don't want to have to give you that money that early and then not be able to play for 10 days just for an extra weapon skin or something like that. So, I mean, it's not actually that big of a deal to me because I'm going to pre-order anyway, just so I can have it ready to go. But like you're saying, Justin, the reason for pre-orders was to make sure you guaranteed yourself a copy of that game. But now that it's digital, I don't really think they should just like NBA, like, oh, you're buying the game, day one, then you get 30,000 coins. Like that's how they should do it. Not, well, if you bought it a week after, we're not going to give it to you. But if you didn't pre-order, we're also not giving it to you. So I feel like, they could probably just put that stuff in the game. It's not
here's the thing too, with pre-installing that you're talking about, it wouldn't kill them to just put a button on the store page where it says buy and download. And you could just download the game ahead of time and it would be there. And then when you wanted to buy it, because it's not like it hurts them in any way, shape, or form for you have the game on your hard drive and not have access to it. So until you buy it. So like they just don't do that because that's another incentive for you to kind of pre-order in a way. So I don't know. I like I said, I pre-order games. I do it. It's not like I'm gonna say like, oh, I don't pre-order because I don't, but it's one of those things where it's like it just sucks that it's a necessary thing you have to do. You have to do it even for games that you're on the fence for because because I'm digital, so it's like it's either I miss out on the pre-order thing if I want to wait to see if there's any issues with the game, or I say fuck it and hope that it works day one. As we were talking before, that's not always the case.
Yeah, well, we all pre-order. We're all hypocrites, basically. I feel.
I was gonna say,
so, yeah. Hashtag same person. We're all hypocrites when it comes to pre-orders.
Shout out to Mark. I know you're gonna give me like a earload about this because you always get pissed off when I say pre-order's dumb.
Well, that's because he works at GameStop, so they get paid on pre-orders.
True.
So, but we kind of actually mentioned it when we were talking about pre-orders. Is basically next part is going to be digital as a purchase option. So being able to buy something digitally versus having a disc. It's just to be. I mean, I feel like this should be a quick response from each one of us.
Yeah, digital's awesome. I love digital. I love not having to get up with my fat lazy ass to walk to the Xbox that's 4 feet away and put a disc in it. So it's well, the other thing too is like it's just cool. Like you could be watching TV and then you just at least on the Xbox and then switch over to Destiny and then all of a sudden say I'm playing Destiny and then all of a sudden you get on Steven and you're like, hey, let's play Battlefront. I'm like, okay, cool. Click Battlefront. Now I'm in Battlefront. It's like it's just easy. And then like preloading is awesome because you do not like literally you guys still download probably the day one patch, but you can go, your game's ready to go. You don't have to download that big 50, 60 freaking file to freaking play your game. You just boop, you go in, you download the little update and you're in within like probably 10, 15 minutes probably.
Yeah. Tony?
love digital downloads. Another hypocrite moment. Actually, pre-ordered Injustice on the disc just because Amazon is so extra cheaper. It's a little cheap. It was like maybe $8 cheaper. And then I had a gift card. But let's be honest, that's the only real disc game I will use, so it'll stay in. It'll probably never come out of the system. But yeah, I love digital because it is kind of like, even if like there's been times I've been at work and like maybe I see a video like Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I saw reviews of it. I think the day it came out, and everybody saying it's pretty good. It's like, oh, you know what? I'll download it right here on my phone. Hit it to download, and because a lot of the new systems are kind of always on in a sense.
Yeah.
It just downloads while I'm at work. Come home, patches downloaded, everything's downloaded. It's just start.
It is. Yeah. No, completely agree with you guys. Digital is the way to go. I don't even like if it's $10 less on Amazon. I actually personally don't even care. I just buy it digitally anyway, just so that it's there. The only game that I have digital right now, I think, is Rock Band, and that's because it comes obviously in a bundle, and so with the controllers. But everything else I have is digital. So,
and I'm actually considering buying that digital, so I can give Melissa the guitar or the drums or whatever, and I can be on my system. We can both play.
Actually wouldn't be a bad idea. Actually, you don't have to do that because I have an extra disc that I can give you when you guys come.
Awesome. Anyway, one thing about digital versus physical is that I have been downloading some games, especially games that are from EA. I've been buying them from Amazon because with Prime it's like $48, and it's got you get it on launch. I got Mass Effect the day before launch, so I was like, oh, okay, cool, I got this early. So that I do. And the other thing that's cool about them with the whole kind of this mixes with the whole thing too is that you don't have to pre-order to get that price. I think it's within the first 2 weeks of launch. It also works.
Yeah.
So they kind of have this thing where it's like, if you don't want to pre-order, you can still get the pre-order and stuff and all that stuff, but you gotta wait. You can wait a few days and still pull that move off. You're gonna have to wait for you want the game at launch, obviously, but at least at that point you have that going for you. Just a little pro tip.
The one like maybe negative about the going all digital is, I think a lot of the games digitally like they have licenses to them, and I think what you saying earlier about like the internet's part, like what happens if like either Xbox goes down or Sony, their services go down, what happens to those digital games? As opposed to like, oh, I still have the disc. I just put the disc in, it'll install from the disc and kind of keep going from there. But what's to say what happens, if something, who knows, somebody gets hacked and like all those digital licenses are like gone.
Yeah, fucking Lizard Squad Christmas 2015, I think it was, 16. Go home to go play games after going to grandma's house, and freaking Xbox is down. I'm like, you fuckers. Yeah, because if it's digital and you don't have, if Xbox Live is down, you're literally fucked because it's literally like it can't do that handshake.
Check in.
Do you have this game? Oh yeah, you have this license. Cool, we good. Go and play. So with a disc, the disc is that handshake. So that's the one negative of digital, but that's a very rare thing where it happens maybe 2-3 times a year, and usually you can figure something else out. Go outside.
Just go do something else, right? Go live a
Is that the sun?
Right.
That thing's bright.
Speaking of sun, I'm trying to get out to the beach, trying to get some waves.
Yeah, we still got a few more topics.
I know.
It's gonna be a long episode.
I know. It's terribly long. Of course, the one time that I'm on vacation is long. Let's move on to episodic games. So I'm assuming when we mean episodic games, we're talking about games like the Telltale series.
Yep.
Basically, it's all Telltale series. So we got Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Guardians of the Galaxy now has one. Batman had one. The Wolf Among Us, I think, was their first one that they had. So I personally, for those games, I have bought season 1 and 2 of Walking Dead. I bought season 1 of Game of Thrones. I've beaten Game of Thrones, well, not beaten, but I've completed the Game of Thrones one. I thought it was really awesome. It's kind of like when you were younger and you read those Goosebumps books or those other books where it was like kind of choose your own path. I feel like that's how those games are, and it's cool to have that into a video game. So I mean, I love Game of Thrones. The Walking Dead so far is really good. I haven't beaten that yet, but that one's pretty good, and I think it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, Life is Strange was another one. I think Resident Evil had one, like Umbrella Chronicles or something it was called. I didn't play it. I just know it was there. But to me, and Hitman, that's a game I've been wanting to play. I haven't bought yet. I'm just kind of like waiting because I just have such a big backlog. But I've heard that game is amazing. I know Giant Bomb was Game of the Year, so I kind of like the idea of like, as long as it's priced correctly, because it's like if they just kind of like, here's part 1 while we're still working on part 2, while we're still working on, and just kind of give it to you as they finish it. It's ready to go. So then you can kind of like, oh, I can play this now, and then I can play, it's kind of like, I don't know. I like it. It's kind of cool that they can do that. And it's like you said, I like the Telltale stuff because, like you said, it's like, it's not always the same. Like what you experience and what I experience aren't the same, probably.
But it is the same because hashtag same person.
Probably. True. This is true. But like maybe in your Walking Dead season 1, this guy died, and maybe in mine, this person died. So it's like, I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah. Tony, thoughts on that?
I like episodic stuff. I don't really play much of the Telltale games because it's just not my thing. But I do have Hitman. I actually bought it when it was completely done. But I still like the fact that you're basically trying it out. Also, like I'm gonna play the first episode, see if I like it. Pay a little less, and then oh, I like it. I want to play more. By the next episode. So I like it.
Yeah, I never really considered that part of it. Like, it's kind of like you can demo the game without losing your progress. In a way, like you can just you can play episode 1 of Walking Dead and be like, I like this, or in your case, I'm not really a big fan of this Telltale thing. All right, that's fine. It's not for me. Move on. So without spending, $60. So it's like it's kind of actually a smart way of thinking about it. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. And the cool thing that we talked about the season passes earlier, basically for those episodic games that you can buy. I think you can buy season passes, and basically then you get all of the games. But if you bought them all separately, it would cost just as much. So I think it's cool that they have those for those episodic games. We were talking about Assassin's Creed earlier, so let's move into annualized games. So basically, we're talking about what Assassin's Creed used to be, where it was every year an Assassin's Creed game come out, or Call of Duty every year Call of Duty can come out. So we've also got all the sports games, Madden, FIFA, NBA, all of those have an annual game. So my thoughts are, I thought it was good Assassin's Creed stopped doing the annual one. It gave them 2 years to build a game. Hopefully this Origins one, which something leaked, which I think we'll move into leaks next, but that a screenshot for that. And then Call of Duty, I think they've started to finally realize that they need to break it down, for a year, because people didn't buy the newer ones because they were basically Titanfall mixed with a little bit of Call of Duty because Infinite Warfare and stuff. So, but like sports games, I'm perfectly fine with as long as they make enough changes to it. Like Madden this year is going to have story mode and stuff. So I'm thinking that it's going to be a good boost. But like the MLB 2K games that there used to be, basically those were just roster updates when they made those up, like when they had the annualized games. So it was kind of, while I still spent $60 on the game, it literally was just they could have just did a free roster update for the next season and it would have been fine. But overall, I think sports games can be annualized, but other games probably should take as long as they need to create.
Yeah, I like that Call of Duty, even though they're still annualized, they're at least doing different themes now, because like World War II is this year. Last year was like the future stuff, which may have been fine, but just I think people are just burnt out in general on Call of Duty, and I think them going to World War II kind of was their way of not de-annualizing it, but still changing it and it being different. Right. What they did do was smart is they added a third studio to that cycle, so now they actually have longer time to develop those games. There's Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, and Treyarch. So now they actually have, while those other 2 games are coming out, they have all that time in between to make it. So whereas before is like you have a year or you have 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. Now it's like 3 years. So that's pretty smart of them. And then yeah, I don't mind annualized games as long as it's done right. I thought Assassin's Creed wasn't a good fit for that. I feel like that game's kind of a game where you kind of need to space it out a little bit. Call of Duty, because the thing is, if you think about it, Steven, our favorite game is annualized in a way. Because Destiny, every September, a big content drop comes. Every September. Yeah. This September, there'll be the new game. So I don't mind it. It's one of those things that if it's done right, it's like I said, kind of theme of the episode. If done right, this is fine. But when done wrong, in Assassin's Creed case, I think it just felt like the same thing, just a slightly different setting, a few different mechanics. It was just not enough difference to actually justify it. And I think that's what was happening with Call of Duty as well.
I think that's why we like Destiny and why it's okay with Destiny is because it's not a completely new game that we're getting every year. It's a DLC drop. So I feel like it's just extra content, whereas Assassin's Creed, it was an entire new game. But in reality, it was literally just a different city with a few new features. is all that they were doing. So I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we said, Assassin's Creed. I feel like it's good that they stopped. So, Tony, what you got on this?
I didn't mind it at first, but I have gotten burnt out because I used to buy like every Call of Duty, but I didn't buy the Infinity War. I didn't buy the last one because I'm just like it at this point it's the same thing with just maybe a feature or two. So I'm probably gonna buy the next one that comes out because it is different enough to me. It seems.
Right.
I mean, I'm fine with it as long as you can add every year. If you give me something different, I'm fine with it. On the other hand, like I'm not like I don't get it like how you get it with the sports games. I don't really get it with the sports games because to me, I don't play sports. This is from the outside looking in. I don't play sports games, and to me, every time I see them introduce a new one, I'm just like, is it just another updated roster? Or is it like one little feature in there? I don't see the. I'm like, why does it need to be every year?
That's basically what it is. But Justin and I still buy Madden every year.
That's the thing, is I feel like this Madden that's coming out that they announced this week is the first one where they actually are doing different stuff. It's a whole new Frostbite engine. It's got the story mode that FIFA got last year. But I also would think it'd be cool if, and they're never going to do this because that would just be silly, if they did like a $10, $15, even $20 just a roster update for the old game. Like here's the roster update, but the only problem with that is that then they have to do work on the old game to get that up to par, and then they have to do the new game too. So it's like it's just not going to work.
Yeah, but with the newer sports games, you actually have the downloadable community rosters, so people are doing it basically for free. So basically, Tony, you look kind of perplexed. So like on Madden and on like NBA 2K, basically they have it where you can create your own custom roster and you can upload it to kind of the server, and then people can go and search it and download it. So like there's plenty of websites and like, kind of companies or like whatever people that go and like do this for like not a living, but they go and do it. Like I know when the NCAA football games were out, there's a guy, his name's Pasta Padre. He's very good. He is one of like the top kind of bloggers for sports games. And so basically he would do, when NCAA came out, they never had the names of the actual players because of like rights and legal laws and things like that. He would go in and actually make rosters with all of the names, the numbers, the stats, the information. Like I'm talking like a big job. He would get that done within the first week the game came out. And so like there's people like that do that. So like even the companies don't have, like Justin's saying, the Madden game that's out right now, EA doesn't have to go back and do a roster update for that because there's already people that are keeping up to date with the rosters now. So it's pretty cool that they do that.
So would you pay $60 for like you said they like have a story mode now and some other stuff? Are you gonna pay? Well, I know you guys are gonna.
Yes. Yeah. So Justin actually was. You were kind of on the fence, I believe, Justin. That you maybe have gonna wait until it became free in the EA Vault, but I feel like now, not so much. I feel like now you're buying it. Yeah. So.
I already told Melissa, I'm like, I'm gonna pre-order this on Amazon, and I'm getting the special edition. So she's like, all right, whatever. I guess it doesn't get charged, but see that's the thing. It's like I'm gonna get that physical, but so I can trade it in when it does go free, so I can recoup some of that.
Yeah.
But one thing that's annualized that I think is really kind of shitty is the WWE 2K series, because they figure out their roster right at WrestleMania weekend, and then they take. So the thing basically is like if anyone debuts after that, they're not in the game, even DLC, because usually the DLC is usually they have the roster set actually before WrestleMania, and then like around WrestleMania is when they figure out the DLC packs, and like it really kind of sucks because they don't do like a roster update. So in order to get like, I know like this year, like Shinsuke Nakamura, I could say, he was a DLC character that you got from pre-ordering only, and then you had to pay $10 if you actually wanted to get him later on, which kind of sucked. I paid it, but it sucked. But the thing is, he is a main star for them, kind of. So it's like it sucks that he's not in the game to play unless you pay money. Next year he'll be in it, but the thing is, people create characters, and there's actually some people who do a really good job. But they don't have their music. They don't have, you have to make it's a lot of work to do. So, but they don't have like their music. They don't have their entrance. So it's kind of defeats the purpose a little bit for that. So it'd be cool if they somehow integrated like a live roster somehow. But again, then why are you going to buy the next version of the game? Because usually the features aren't that much different. It's a little bit better. Sometimes like a story mode or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we love our video games, obviously. We spent a whole podcast talking about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I think we're still evolving in the video game industry, and I think there's going to be some. I mean, we got like once Scorpio comes out, I feel like that's going to be a tip of kind of an iceberg, and then it's going to just even like it's going to explode from there because PlayStation's going to have to come out with their next thing, and then Xbox, and then just like games are going to change. So I think we're going to get I think video games are in a good place right now in general. I feel like pretty sure you guys would probably agree. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that it's cool. One thing I think that's great about modern day gaming, most of all, is just the diversity and the choices you have. Like, not even just playing games, but like making games. Like anyone can make a game this day, and it can get on the Xbox store and the PlayStation store, and you know, with indie games and stuff. And so it's just cool that there's such a wide variety. Like you can play games that are top of the line, and then you can play a game that's 8-bit side scroller, like old school game, like a game like Shovel Knight, for instance, and it's still awesome. So it's like it's cool that there's so many good games. Like some of the stuff we probably even talked about was like nitpicking at little things, and it's like because there's just so much good games. Like Mass Effect Andromeda is like a perfect example. It's a great game, but people just nitpick so much now that because there's just so many good games that you can nitpick a little bit and stuff.
It's because people are bitches nowadays, so they just. Speaking of people being bitches, Tony, I don't know what your rant's gonna be, but what's bugging you? What's bugging you nowadays?
You being at the beach.
No, shit. I'm on this month. It's been raining all the weekend. God damn. My rant is gonna be short and sweet. I had a different one until Friday. My rant today is about people who don't use turn signals. I can't fucking stand people who don't use turn signals. There's been multiple times I've almost been hit by a person just because they kind of like you guys know, you could tell like when you're driving or like you're about to get on, you're getting in a merge lane, you're already in the merge lane, and there's a car next to you, and you can tell it wants to get over, but you don't see no turn signal, nothing, and they just kind of get over thinking, oh, you're slow down. No, fuck you. Put your turn signal on. I ain't letting you over. I know a lot of people don't like to be like. I'm very courteous. Like if there's a person who wants to get over, and like if it's like in a traffic jam and you put your turn signal on, I'm more inclined to let you over because you know you put your turn signal over, you put your turn signal on, stating you need to get over, and I'm like, you know what? All right, go ahead.
Right.
But the assholes who just kind of like get over, and we're all guilty. I'm sure we're all guilty of that at some point.
I will say I'm definitely guilty of that. At least I'm on my way home and I have something to do. If I'm just on my way home and I don't have anything really planned or anything like that, I'll like you said, I'll usually let people in if they have the turn signals, and I'll use my turn signal and try to get over. But yeah, no, people that don't use their turn signals that's one thing that really gets me is like, especially if like you're driving down a 2-lane road and you can't pass anybody.
Yeah.
And they just start slowing down randomly.
Yeah.
And then
Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
No, blood's boiling. That's it. I mean, blood's boiling. It's just
that
fucking turn signals.
Yeah, that really could because even like on like you said like a 2-lane road and like people are going fast and just all of a sudden you just stop like and there's no merge lane to turn like on the street, you just stop and turn. I'm like, what the fuck? Like it's not that hard to flick a little switch.
Right.
My chest is actually beating right now. Like Jesus Christ. Okay, Justin.
I just fucking hate it. I drive all day, but like I feel like in Illinois, it's almost like a characteristic of the drivers here. But now that you go hearing you guys talk, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just idiots.
Oh
all
no,
over the place.
It's all
because
over the place.
It's just so infuriating when people are just like, "I'm just gonna turn." You're like, "Whoa, hold up! I gotta slow down." Like, and then like it's just I can't even.
We'll just leave it at that. It's making us mad just thinking about it. It's making us
fucking
Let's move on to
signal. As I've told the story before, my dad before someone didn't use their turn signal, and he pulled up next to him and was like, "Man, that's a nice car." And they're like, "Oh, thanks." Like, did it come with turn signals? You fucking jackass! And then just we pulled away. So I was like,
Yeah, pretty cool. Let's move on to better things. So, Justin, what are you reviewing this week?
As I've mentioned, I'm reviewing Forza Horizon 3's expansion, Hot Wheels. I think it's called the Hot Wheels expansion. 10 out of 10. It is the most fun I have had in a racing game in my life. It is so fun. It is so pretty. It is so cool. I fell off the track 4 times yesterday, but it was still fucking fun, and I didn't even care. It's like crazy cool. So if you have an Xbox, buy yourself Forza Horizon 3. If you play it for about an hour, it unlocks the expansion, and get in that expansion and play. That's my review. I'm just keep it short and sweet.
Okay, Tony, you got anything to review on?
Yeah. I recently skimming through Netflix. I started watching Sons of Anarchy. I watched season 1 and season 2. Very good gang warfare. I like that kind of stuff. And
That's racist. That's racist.
funny enough, the main villain season 2 is a neo-Nazi. So, so yeah, no spoilers, but yeah.
So out of 10 so far, what are you giving Sons of Anarchy?
It's at a 8. I give it an 8 right now. That's really good, really good.
Yeah. So Paramore dropped a new album on Friday the 12th, and After Laughter is their new album. And I'm gonna give it Paramore's probably my favorite band. I'm giving it an 11 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. The reason I give it a 10 out of 10 is because there's one particular song that it's kind of not my favorite, and I think the reason for that is because Haley Williams actually doesn't sing in that song. It's actually one of the guys that's singing. So, and it's not a bad song. It just doesn't match it's got kind of an 80s theme-ish with an updated version, updated kind of music to it for the whole album. And it's really good. So I'd give it a 10 out of 10 instead of an 11 out of 10. Quick other review is Psy, the guy who did Gangnam Style, had a new album come out. I actually listened to most of it. I'm going to give that like a 7 out of 10, but it was good. There's 2 songs that I watched on YouTube, and the videos, the way that he just dances and like does his videos, it's just cool. I don't know. I like it. So I'm gonna give that a 7 out of 10. So
it's hilarious. You were gonna give it an 11 out of 10 because there was one song you weren't really fond of, so you're gonna give it 10 out of 10. Like, what review logic is that?
There's one little problem. 10 still.
Still 10. Yep. Still 10. I was gonna give it 11, but 10.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I think that was everything on our list, guys. Did you guys have any? I have one thing to mention before we wrap it up. Do you guys have any other thoughts on anything? Well, if I'm to wrap it now. So Destiny 2 will be revealed Thursday, May 18th, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So Justin and I, and I'm sure Brandon and others will be watching that. And we're actually going to do a special Mida Multicast segment Thursday, late afternoonish. Justin and I, and maybe, probably not Brandon, probably just Justin and I will do a segment on YouTube and then, audio versions to do a review. So we're gonna watch it. We're gonna take notes, but we're not gonna discuss it until the podcast. So it'll probably be a good one to listen into because it'll be initial reactions between both of us. So
also, if you haven't seen in your podcast feed or if you're a YouTube watcher, there is a episode that went up, I believe, Friday night, our first ever episode of the Mida Multicast. So we were kind of previewed that event that we're gonna be watching on Thursday. So if you're interested in Destiny or want to get interested in Destiny, then that would be something to listen to.
Yeah, and definitely listen to it. Try to listen to it before the one on Thursday. That way you can kind of compare predictions to what happens. Tony, you got something?
I would say I did watch it. It is very good and very entertaining. They threw
you.
some shots at me, but hey, it's all good.
Got him.
It's all right.
Got him. Well, thanks, guys. I'm gonna go enjoy the beach now. So make sure to listen to us on iTunes, Podbean. You can watch us on YouTube. If you listen to us on iTunes, again, please review and subscribe. It definitely would help us out. You can look at our Twitter page at Same Person Radio. Facebook is facebook.com/SamePersonRadio. Justin is at Leviathan426. I am at Galvanator93. Tony is at Tony Brown. You can also find us on Facebook if you do that. Melissa's LuLaRoe is LuLaRoe Melissa McFadden. Justin's making a funny face now.
I can see myself in your glasses.
That's pretty cool then. So yeah, I guess that's it, guys. We'll Justin and I will talk to you. We'll talk on Thursday, but I'm sure you guys have a lovely week of work, and I'm gonna go enjoy this nice beach.
And you can go suck a dick. So
Yeah,
on the beach.
I second that.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Later.